Welcome back to this week's America's Favorite Pharmacist segment, sponsored by MaryRuth Organics on A Moment of Zen, right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm Phil Cowley, pharmacist and pharmaceutical expert, and today we'll be chatting all about, can you trust foreign pharmacies for your medications? The State Department recently released another warning about buying medications from Mexican pharmacies. This comes on the heels of multiple overdoses from fentanyl-laced medications. Many people buy prescriptions at pharmacies outside the United States thinking that they'll be able to get their medications cheaper and come home with fentanyl instead. These overdoses have become a grave concern to the State Department, releasing yet another warning to us. Here are a few things you can do to make sure you stay safe when you're buying medications. First of all, always buy your medications from a trusted source. If you can drive over the border and buy it from a Canadian pharmacy, those are regulated and you know you're going to be safe. Whereas, if you stop in a port city and you go into a pharmacy, and the only people in that pharmacy are other tourists, you can take a good guess that the medications you're getting are probably not what you're expecting. Second, keep in mind, just because they look the same doesn't mean they're the same. Tablet punches are really inexpensive. It is extremely easy to make medications look exactly the same without having any active pharmaceutical ingredients, or even worse, having it be tainted with something that can harm you. Just because the pills look the same doesn't mean you're getting the same thing. Make sure you go to a pharmacy in which the locals can tell you that you can trust and that they buy their own medications from them. Doctors that are reputable will rarely be found in port cities catering to tourists. Find a real doctor inside of a real hospital and you'll do much better finding something that you can take. Florida became the first state to be able to re-import medications from Canada. This will be an interesting challenge for the FDA. Up to this point, the FDA has continually given concern that it'll be hard to make sure that the drug supply chain will be safe when re-importing medications. As Florida goes through this changes, I think it will help all Americans in order to help us afford our medications even more. However, even here in the United States, we've had many tainted medications and medications that are from foreign sources that don't contain any pharmaceutical ingredients into our supply chain. Recently, Ozempic had 7 different batches which were all counterfeited from sources foreign. These medications had little to no medication in them, and people were warned not to take them. Make sure you go to pharmacies that are complying to the new Drug Supply Chain Security Act. This act will make sure that each pharmaceutical company has to trace from beginning to end user where that medication's been. Down to the even lot number, you'll know the batch you're taking. This Drug Supply Security Act will be essential in making sure that our medications stay safe here in the United States. And finally, as a pharmacist, this is just a little bit of advice for you. Never pay the first price without checking. Cards like CareCard, well, always make sure that you have the best price. Double check the price even if your insurance is involved. Quite often, they're cheaper without them. MaryRuth Organics is a fantastic supplement that is built inside the United States you can trust the source from. This is Phil Cowley, pharmaceutical expert, and that was America's Favorite Pharmacist Express segment, sponsored by MaryRuth Organics. Check them out at MaryRuth Organics online. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be back right after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by MaryRuth's Organics. Not all supplements are alike. MaryRuth's believes that making the best supplements means creating products that are only made out of the highest quality ingredients. They are non-GMO, plant-based, vegan, and they taste great. MaryRuth's Organics assist in maintaining your health and aid your body on your way to wellness. For more information, go to MaryRuthOrganics.com and use the promo code PHIL20MRO for 30% discount off your first order. That's MaryRuthOrganics.com.